So how are you today, man?
Good.
Thanks for setting this up. Love the fire.
Yeah.
The smokeless pit.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your movie come out Halloween. I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
And I saw you repost a Trip.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Trip again. I know we did that in our first video, but you know I'm a fan, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen, I don't know, Trip a dozen or two times.
Yeah, probably most, You're probably up there with, like, most viewings of it,
if you look at who views it the most, if you could break it down,
yeah.
Probably the same IP address now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so your Halloween movie, you teased it on TikTok, and by the way, congratulations, you've got 1.4, I just looked just right now, 1.4 million followers on TikTok, and I think I looked a couple weeks ago, it was 1.3.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's growing really fast.
Really fast.
Well, when did you hit the tipping point on that?
How to Get a Girl at a party.
That was it?
That was it. That was the moment, yeah. In 5 hours, it got 2.2 million views.
Oh, okay.
One of my favorite things to do is to post a TikTok, take a nap, and then wake up to all these views.
Right.
And that was like the most...
You're like, whoa, in 5 hours, 2.2.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
funny.
Yeah.
I still think some of my favorite of your TikToks are I Touch the Wall.
Yeah.
I mean, that obviously was fun.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to duet that with you. I love that. It's one of my favorites. And the Elf song. I think it's a classic.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But some of your most views on TikTok have come from like just hugging your brother.
I know.
Like something like 8 million views.
October, dude.
What was that about? Like you hugged him and he did these little hand pecks. The whole family like, hey.
Yeah.
Some of those were 4 seconds long. They're really funny.
Dude, I went viral doing that with all 4 of my siblings.
Right.
In October.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and my mom's birthday is coming up soon. Dad's is in January, so
you have to have some fun here.
Yeah.
But that's I think like when you watch your TikToks, it's just you kind of having fun being you.
Right.
You're not putting on like massive production. You're just being super silly, which is kind of who you are.
No doubt.
I love that. But then on Halloween, you released this really awesome 4.5 minute little horror flick.
Yeah.
And it was just you. And it was your first horror flick you've ever done, right?
At all, yeah.
I mean, you've done drama, you've done comedy, but you've never done horror.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. How did you come up with the idea of the harmonica?
So, every year, Octobers have been increasing for me.
Okay.
For the past, 3.
What does that mean, increasing?
That means, so the first year, I watched probably 12 horror films that I had never seen.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, dude.
You mean like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So you weren't into the horror genre?
Must have been, it must have been right after Chicago.
So.
But yeah, no,
okay.
I wasn't familiar with the best of the genre.
Okay, so give me what's the best of the genre?
The Thing.
Yeah.
I consider The Babadook to be one of them. The Witch, Rosemary's Baby.
Right.
I just hadn't...
Never worked your way through those classics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So to kind of study those, Nightmare on Elm Street, and...
What's that? You said to study them.
To study them,
so you watch them for pleasure, but to study them too?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
To study the genre. I think it's not each film individually. It's like, what can you do in this genre?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Were you kind of constantly thinking about, I need to make a film? Or did that just kind of come about after the fact?
So this last one, I watched The Exorcist.
Right.
And I haven't watched a movie since October 19th, The Exorcist.
Oh, that was the last movie you watched?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It just happens to be the last movie I watched. So I watched it and just I had bits of inspiration leading up to that, and then watching that movie confirmed it that I need to make a horror film.
Wow.
And I bought the book The Exorcist, and I really haven't even gotten into it much.
And what was it about? What was for you that inspiration point that said, "Oh, I'm going to make a movie now after The Exorcist"? Because it is a classic in the genre, right? And you sent me a great video about the backstory around it, about the filming of it, about the curse of the movie, and all this really interesting stuff. But from a movie perspective, I mean, this was the game changer. It's one of those films that comes along and like the horror genre is never the same after it.
Right.
So what inspired you?
Well, it was the harmonica. So the harmonica I got at CC Media. I just walked in there and the secretary offered me a harmonica randomly. And so I'm actually, this goes back to a theory that I have of Eden, where I don't necessarily consider the fruit tree chosen to have any significance. I think it was just like, hey, don't touch that tree. It's like a father testing is. He's saying, test me.
Right.
And so I chose a simple harmonica. I chose a simple inanimate object that would be the same thing. Do not play.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
you get the first seed of temptation after that to like, what if I did?
And how did that come to you watching The Exorcist? I'm kind of curious, what's the connection? You said you were inspired. Was something in The Exorcist, the movie, something about a harmonica in there? Or was it just something kind of just clicked with you and then you connected it to the harmonica?
I think it was the demonic part of Exorcist that was, I believe, wholly in that realm.
Right. Yeah. The spiritual realm, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that movie truly terrifies me.
Right.
So I think that's where it lies, because it's hard for me to get scared by a horror film. I watch the new It.
Right.
No offense to the filmmakers, but I'm watching this thinking, I think I'm supposed to be scared or unnerved right now.
And you're like, I'm fine.
But I'm really not.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I am fine. And so I wanted my horror film. I had a friend tell me, man, it was weird.
Yeah.
And I go, in an affecting way, or like,
Yeah.
in a oh, that's just weird way.
Yeah.
And he goes, maybe not either of those.
Right.
It's in this other category, and he couldn't place it. And I was like,
Yeah.
I think that's what I was going for. I wasn't going for like gore. I was going for like an icky, like,
Yeah, right.
I don't like that.
Well, I think you and I were I mentioned this to you the other day, but I read a quote or something about an author, a book, right? And there's a relationship between every reader and every book that's really unique. No one experiences the book the same. Same as the movie, right? No one experiences the movie exactly the same.
Right.
And you're not necessarily making it for a mass crowd. You're making it for the individual who's going to be touched by it in his or her unique way. And that was my experience of it too. I didn't get all the background thought into it until we talked after the fact.
Yeah.
But once you were kind of explaining to me what went into it, I was like, oh, totally. So you're watching The Exorcist and the demonic part, and you're going, okay, there's a seed here. There's something for me to talk about. And then you go to CCTV at some point before or after watching the movie, and you get a harmonica.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Don't touch it. Don't eat it. Don't play it. And then what happened from there?
So, I played the harmonica.
Right.
Kind of a side note, I wanted to figure out a horror score. Solely harmonica. I was like, that would be... it would have to be very intense in order to be affecting to any degree. So, parts... I have certain takes on my hard drive that are like 10 minutes, and there's several of them of me just tooting around on the harmonica. I'm just figuring out what sounds
Right.
icky to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so in the film, one of the background thoughts behind it is that harmonica represents something that you're not supposed to play.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. And so initially, the character says, receives a harmonica on the porch. I looked over here because you filmed it here, right?
Yeah.
Right over there on the porch.
Right.
That's funny. So the character receives a package.
Yeah.
And the package says, do not play. but it is kind of interesting that it was still delivered to the person, right?
Right.
Like here's something.
Yeah.
It exists. It's playable.
Yeah.
Right. It's in perfectly good working condition, but do not play. Right.
Right.
And then what happens in the character?
He is scared by it. It overwhelms him almost immediately when he's walking out of the room, and it plays
Right.
without permission.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know,
that look is
it's
great.
going in the trash.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So that right there, I mean, that right there is my struggle with any sin or vice. That is I mean, it's on film. That is the not definition, but you know what I'm saying.
But that's so good. It's almost like the things that create vice in us have a life of their own. They have their own existence, right? Yeah. And so while you're doing your own thing, the harmonica plays, like the vice lives, it calls you. And so you try and toss it.
Yeah.
But it comes back.
It does. It does. Stronger.
Stronger. Oh, is that
stronger?
Oh, that's the motif. It comes
in
back
the window.
stronger.
Yeah. Comes back here in the backyard, and then in the front porch. And I also indicate the doorbell as happening one time in the beginning and then 3 times right there.
Gotcha. I love that thought. And if you hadn't pointed out, I wouldn't have picked up on that very thoughtful element of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming back saying, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Well,
I also, when I recorded those, I recorded a pound on the door and then a dot, 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 like that. And I don't think I ever put it in, but there's still room for a sequel because, you know, who knows that burning the harmonica in the end really gets rid of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I love you. I think you should do a sequel. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Because my notion there is that sin is just something you will have for the rest of your life. If you plant that seed, you're never going to be able to really get into the roots and like dig it out until
we go home.
Until you go home.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a great thought. So eventually, the character then does something. I think like I'm picking up on your motif now. So now he goes into a secret place. He goes into the shed.
Yeah. Dark.
Right. And
alone,
secluded in his own little world, and he's like, "What is this thing?" And then he plays it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that not what happens?
Yeah.
You know.
That's how you start.
The amount of time that I just spend in my bedroom, or even in my car, just like really, or I can even be with people.
Yeah, right.
And not there, you know.
Oh, right. Absolutely. Kind of get the harmonica can kind of be calling out to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be technically secluded. You can be secluded inside, even while you're surrounded by a crowd of people.
Family events. You can be at a family event and texting somebody. I'm not supposed to be texting.
Right.
You know. And it's my own thing.
Right.
I picture somebody at a table and they're in regular motion and everybody is in a different speed as them, or a different color grade, or you know. But yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So I had to depict it.
I love that, and I love how you depicted it. That scene in the shed is amazing.
For sure.
It's so classic. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the shadows. I love that nothing's really clear.
Yeah.
But you know exactly what's going on, right?
I love just the lighting. I remember just like walking past it and seeing the light and being like, oh dude, that is it. I can get a wide, just like throw it, and then I experimented with where to stand too. I stood back further and I picked that lighting. I love the silhouette
Yeah. That was perfect.
For sure.
That was really perfect.
Ended up being a great teaser too.
Yeah, well, that was a good teaser.
Yeah.
I love that you released your teaser and you hadn't even finished the film yet, right?
Yeah, I hadn't finished filming. Yeah. I finished the morning of Halloween Day. But I wouldn't have had it any other way because I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I meant to. I only filmed when I had inspiration.
Right.
That night.
You didn't force it.
I didn't force it at all. The 30th. It's like 9:15, and I'm like, man, I need to film this thing if I want to release it tomorrow.
But you couldn't.
I couldn't. It wasn't there. I was playing Skyrim at like 3 in the morning and podcasting, and then it came to me.
And it was right there. It was.
And I got up and filmed it. Yeah.
That's so good. You put it together and you released it the same day.
At 5:30 in the morning, a couple hours later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. So what happens to the character after he plays the harmonica? So he goes to his own secluded place.
Yeah.
He plays it, and nothing immediately happens. Right.
This is where I take inspiration from the Babadook, and she becomes possessed in the film. So my character did, and I experimented. I initially had a shot that was up here, like that, and I bend that. Oh, it might actually be in the film. I think it is actually. But I experimented with how to play that because I didn't want it to be. I also initially had it like, just like.
You're trying different ways of being
possessed.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. But I never wanted. To me, it never meant possessed.
Right.
It meant. I don't even know if oppress is the word. It's just a part of your life. It's attached.
Right.
And you're practicing it.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Well said. Well said.
Shoving the food into my mouth.
Right.
I'm not chewing. I'm just like because that's the sin. It doesn't even have to. I mean, that is also a gluttonous
just
sin. But I'm also just it's just
sheer lack of control. Just
oh yeah. Over excessive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And when did it come to the part where it gets exercised? Because there was a kind of showing the oppression, possession, the attachment, all of that. And then there's that great scene in the bathroom where you vomit this thing up.
Yeah.
And
because everything that you do becomes regurgitation of that sin.
Yeah. So good.
I notice it in myself. I notice it in other people. Like when people have a hard time. Sin wants to be found out. That's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Just like a serial killer desires opening that newspaper and knowing that they found the scene, and like going back into like in their mind they fantasize about them finding that scene and like what took place, and that's why they return to it.
And that's kind of the life of sin. Sin wants to read about itself in the paper.
Yes.
So to speak.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Sin. If I noticed that with like comedy, a lot of jokes, you can find a lot of truth if you take apart jokes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can get to the heart of that person telling it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love our comedians, right?
Yes.
They say things that other people can't say.
Yeah.
Especially in this weird, politically correct world. The last thing you ever want to shut down is comedians.
Yeah.
Right. We need to laugh.
Yeah.
So then at the very end of the movie, you got the regurgitation scene, and the character finds himself in front of the candle, and he says, "This little light of mine."
Yeah.
And it's kind of going back, because to me that's an old, like a song from Sunday school, or from childhood times with your parents, or maybe campfire times. It's very, to me, it kind of took you back to me it was being a kid again, kind of being innocent.
Yeah.
Going back to innocence, and saying, "This little light of mine," kind of staying near the light, even a small light.
Right. Because it's such a simple ask.
Yeah.
That the Lord requests of us.
Oh yeah.
It's as small as a little candlelight.
Yeah.
It's ask me into your heart and like find some redemption, find some freedom of this sin.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's where the movie closes.
Yes.
it ends on that this little light of mine, you fade.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good, man. Yeah, that's good. You did a lot in 4.5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I looked for stuff like wasted time, and it really
Yeah.
wasn't anything in there. It was very nicely put together. So if you haven't seen the harmonica, please watch it. You'll see it on Collin's YouTube channel, or is it on any other platforms?
Instagram.
Instagram,
IGTV. That's my first TV video that I posted. That's longer than a minute. So yeah.
Good. And so then that makes me think of Trip, because you just reposted that, right, to YouTube?
I did.
I got a notification. I thought it was up there before. Was it not? Was it on another platform? Maybe?
It was up there. I was not satisfied with the view count.
Oh.
It was like 268, and I was like, "Oh, give me more." And I got more. I got more than that in 30 minutes that it was posted.
Good. That's why you reposted it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Because people don't tend to. When people find you, it's rare that they're gonna go all the way down.
Go back and look at some of
Yeah.
your work. Oh, good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed I get notifications when you post new stuff, and I was like, well, I thought this was out there, but I ended up watching it again. I'll have to confess, I was driving the first time I saw it again. I was like, doing that.
Yeah.
I had this camera sideways on the dashboard. I'm like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. That was really good. Okay, so let's talk about Trip. I know about a year ago we had our first interview, and I think Trip was a big part of our conversation at the Salem Roundtable.
Yes.
But I'd really like to visit this again, because every time I watch the movie, I'm thinking about more thoughts. And I want to say again, I really love the intro shot for some reason.
Yeah.
The guy doing the dishes. What's his character's name?
I don't remember.
Whatever his name, but yeah.
Yeah.
I love the camera angle there. It's just on him doing dishes, and you've got this activity in the background that just seems to work for me. I don't know why. Like, I really like it.
Yeah.
And I love the mom as an actress.
Yeah.
She really just carries it. Like,
She was
really
my teacher.
Well. Yeah, you're saying that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that's up to the fact. I mentioned that to you. I was like, oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
She's an acting teacher, right?
Yeah.
And she does the
Stage.
Right.
She taught stage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And she's a little bit stagey
Okay.
in the
So
performance.
you feel that a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a different kind of acting, right?
Yeah.
Stage versus camera. Gotcha. But she articulates really well, and I think she
Yes.
sets up the character for you.
Yeah.
Because they have a conversation about parole, right? You kind of get, without getting the background, you get the background.
Yeah.
This kid's been in trouble. Mom's really worried about him. You know, is he going to report to his PO?
Yeah.
All these things, right?
Her focus is also on the other child. You know, she has to go around the corner, like attend to her and leave Dylan. It is Dylan to
Yeah,
the
right,
dishes.
yeah.
And the sister coming in just happened one take,
Right.
and we said, hold on, before you leave, can you actually do that again?
Right, yeah.
And just say, hey mom, and
Yeah.
then you can leave.
Isn't that perfect when that works out? Like,
Dude.
It's like, hey, Mom.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I know it sounds really stupid, but I feel like we've talked about this before, but all of a sudden it really hit me that the movie Trip is about the trip they both take to the parking lot. Essentially, it's about their journey. It includes something about their history, but something about where this ends.
Yeah.
And they take kind of different paths. You kind of record them getting there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And also he's buying mushrooms.
Oh, is he?
So-
yeah, my mushroom, yeah.
So that would be also where, the psychedelic meaning comes from.
Oh,
But yes,
right.
it is about that journey, because Dylan is driving and then the dealer walks, and it actually, it stays on him for most of the journey.
Right.
Because it ends up being about him.
And what is his trip?
So, can you identify the point in the conversation in which he switches over to now I'm going to make this decision when you watch it?
Okay, I think it's because you may have coached me on it and I've watched it.
Sure.
I think it's when he says, oh damn, twice.
Yeah.
And I think the second time he sees the money.
Yeah.
And that was like, watching it again, I've talked about this movie a lot. He goes, damn, right? And then he starts letting Dylan talk. He starts letting Dylan talk. And they feel like they're in this really cool conversation.
Yeah.
Talking about life. They're talking about meaning.
Yeah.
They're talking about purpose.
Getting encouragement.
Yeah,
from
right.
him.
Things that friends would talk about.
Yeah.
And for some reason, getting the few bucks in his wallet is more important than that friendship. And it's always such an interesting take on human nature.
Yeah.
That people, they're friends. They're obviously right.
Yes.
They're talking. They say encouragement. And the next thing you know, the camera pulls away and you see the flash. Like the first time I saw the movie, I did not expect that. Like I had no idea where this was going. I was like, and then he just very coldly puts the piece away, the money. He walks out.
Yeah.
And the movie ends with the people coming through the parking lot. But
Yeah. The movie ends as cold as he is.
yeah, perfectly said. Yeah. What inspired this movie?
I remember Joe's. We were a class of 5, and there were like 11 films being made. And so my group of 5 had to pick a director, producer, screenwriter, whatever. So, and Joe had this script, and the one that he submitted was a lot better than the one that I submitted. But when I read his script, I didn't like it, and it was Trip. I didn't like it at all. I read it, and I was like, what the hell is this? But there were a couple of movies he recommended, and a couple of those I had already seen. So there we were able to really, oh, that's the tone you're trying to go for. Now I can see it in the writing. So then I think together we ended up watching those movies that I hadn't, and there were quite a few of them, like Drive.
Right.
Only God Forgives, Nicholas Refn type stuff.
Drive. Now I see it.
Drive. Yeah.
Oh, the moment when you see his violent side, you're like,
yeah.
what? So
in the elevator. Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
And now I'm getting the tone and the inspiration for Trip. Oh, there it is.
Totally.
Yeah. Perfect. We never really unpacked that before, is how you guys kind of arrived at that tone and at the mood and at the character.
Did you watch the behind the scenes?
Of Drive?
Yes.
I did not, no.
I posted that right after.
Oh, okay.
So you should go back. It's like 7 minutes, but you can watch us make the movie.
Oh, behind the scenes Trip.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll
Did
totally
I say
check it
that?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Drive, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I will totally check it out. No, thanks for the heads up on that.
Totally.
Tend to our fire here.
Yeah, so you can see us we have a...
Smokeless Pit, brought to you by Collin Everett.
Yeah. We had a couple of deleted scene shots, and there's one in there where the dealer is taking a piss.
Oh.
But the shot is on him from here, from up top, and he's just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
And he refers to this moment when he gets into the van. He says, oh man, I was getting emotional.
Right.
I was taking a piss.
He does.
And this is that shot.
I wondered about that.
I want you to see this
Yeah,
shot.
oh, gotcha. So why did you delete the scene?
It's too long. It was just, it made the movie too long.
Gotcha.
I didn't want Joe to take it out, but he did.
Okay, gotcha.
But
I'll go back and watch it.
totally.
I remember thinking this time around, I listened to that, and he's like, I was out there taking a piss, getting emotional. And it felt a little unattached, like I wasn't sure what that was about. I just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
But now I get it. So he's literally thinking about something while he's taking a piss. Looking at the sky. Yeah. What's interesting is his capturing.
Plugging the smokeless.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah. Back to the smokeless. You'll never experience smoke in the Collin Everett smokeless pit. So what I love about Trip, though, I'll be honest with you, and what I love about Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment, for example, or Notes from the Underground, is it's the exploration of the human condition and all of its wonder, its glory, its absolute brutality. Yeah. The Notes, Crime and Punishment is about this guy who's a little crazy, commits a brutal murder, and the whole bulk of the book is him dealing with himself after the murder until he finally comes to confession. And even as a murderer, a double murderer, he killed an old woman and her daughter, brutally killed her. He still finds redemption in the end. There's still something about him that is worth redeeming.
Sure.
There's still something good in him. And Dostoevsky is constantly teasing apart the human condition.
Right.
Right? That people can be monsters, and they can be good people. And even the person who's a monster has redeemable qualities.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even someone who is redeemable can sometimes be a monster.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And you're just kind of watching, it's such an incredible book, you just kind of watch this unfold, and every character in there you see, Dostoevsky goes into such detail in these conversations that you're picking up layers and layers and layers of personality and dysfunction and love and hate and vengeance and fear, and you just like, whoa. And I love that about Trip.
Right.
Because I'm thinking about that character a lot, and he commits this horrible murder. But then there's still this part of me that says, I wonder what's going on with him. And like 25 years from now, will he be in prison, or will he have a wife and a kid? Will he have remorse eventually about this?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, like, we're too quick to pass judgment on who's evil and who's righteous, or who's good, or who's bad. And yet we acknowledge that was a very, very bad thing to do.
Yeah.
And I love that the movie just kind of ends and kind of just passes out and says, what's next?
Right.
Yeah.
And I intend on making another movie that is based, I keep saying like based in the same, world as Trip, but I mean, it's this one. It is based in the same world. David Fincher comes to mind because he explores human condition at its worst with movies like Seven, or Zodiac. He just did Mindhunters on Netflix.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it good? Mindhunters?
Phenomenal.
Talking about the kind of the understanding of this concept of serial killers.
Yeah.
That's the same guy that does.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible.
Is it historical fiction, or is it truth? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Historical fiction. They go to the serial killer here in Salem, Oregon, who really existed, and I don't think is alive anymore.
Here in Salem?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a serial killer, like Brutus or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. I love the guy who plays him.
Yeah.
He just plays him so well.
Like, I think of refrigerators or something, right? Meat hangers. It was pretty cool.
Oh.
Was it him and his wife, or him and his girlfriend did it, or was it?
Yeah, he was nasty. He was sadistic.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. And loved it.
Right.
And it's about, I don't think the two FBI people in the film or in the series existed. I think it's, fiction in that sense. But I think it is about them coming to the realization that serial killers was
a real thing.
Was a real thing.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and happening.
That's something else. I'll have to check out that series. I'm loving this fire right now.
Yeah.
So good. So that was Trip. If you haven't seen the movie Trip, please watch Trip. Please watch the harmonica. And the other thing I want to say today is, Collin, 1.4 million followers on TikTok, man. And we just barely started talking about that at the beginning.
Right.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? Do you feel pressure to produce every day, or are you still free-flowing with it?
I'm sensing less and less pressure to go every day because it doesn't work like that. TikTok is becoming very interesting because it's really hard to plug anything. Like it's I can't talk to my whole audience, the
Right.
1.4 million.
Right.
A TikTok follow is something very, very different.
Then a YouTube follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the insights you're getting here have been amazing for me, because I've in the past, I've worked with people like to do search engine optimization, trying to understand how to build platforms,
Yes.
how you connect people, and you find them on social sites and you bring them into your website to buy something.
Yeah.
Kind of all that whole process flow. And you were saying that from TikTok, you're kind of seeing some movement,
Yes.
not nearly the volume, but some movement into YouTube, Instagram,
Yeah.
right, Facebook maybe. But TikTok's kind of the entry point for people to find you on other platforms.
Yeah.
But you're not going to host something like you would on YouTube, where you have like an event for your followers that's live, and you'd expect, a certain percentage of your followers to maybe watch an hour-long event.
Yeah.
TikTok is just scroll,
Yeah.
right?
it's that one thing. You're not gonna like promote, hey, go to this thing or check out this thing. It has to be that one video that gets them.
Right.
So it's so interesting trying to figure out how to do that. And actually, I was very surprised because if I hadn't made a TikTok about my horror film, and I think it's at like almost, maybe I'm wrong, but 200,000 views, that TikTok, I don't think that my horror film would have gotten
nearly the views. It was a great way to get the word out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good way to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So TikTok becomes a place. Now, what's interesting about TikTok is it has another upside. So the downside is you're not engaging with your audience in the same way, right?
Yeah.
But the upside is you can monetize on TikTok.
Yes.
You can monetize on YouTube. But you don't monetize on Facebook. And a lot of people don't realize this, that you don't get paid from Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
So you can put a lot of content out there and people can watch it, and then Facebook says thanks.
Yeah.
Right? Appreciate you bringing people viewing.
Yeah.
But then Facebook and Instagram become another place where you can really pull them into YouTube.
Yeah.
Or to your website. CollinEverett.com.
Yeah, dude.
You can buy the smokeless pit there. No,
Hey. Yeah.
But CollinEverett.com, and also you got some merchandise.
Yes.
Right, going as well. At least the T-shirt right now.
Yeah.
You buy anything, right?
Yes. It's an image. Yeah. It's just an image.
So I just want to say, I'm just really curious. Who encouraged you to get on TikTok?
You did.
Oh, that was me?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah. You and my buddy Josiah. Were the two people who were like, you should.
Because you were avoiding it at first, right?
Oh, I didn't like it.
Didn't care about it.
Yeah. I didn't have it, but Instagram, I would see TikToks all the time.
Totally. Yeah, people merge the platforms.
And I had heard that TikTok had become Musically. Musically was like that transformed into. And Musically was right after Dub Smash. I was really into Dub Smash.
Yeah, a ton of Dub Smashes.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
But I never realized that Dub Smash was like TikTok, like posting on the app. I would just make it and post it somewhere else. I would never...
You never use it on Dub Smash.
Yeah.
You put them on, I think, Insta and Facebook and YouTube, things like that.
Yeah.
You had a ton of Dub Smashes. Those are funny, man.
I had
you were known for your Dub Smashes.
I know.
Okay. For those of you who haven't gone, you need to go to Collin's account. Go to Instagram. Is it Collin Everett or Collin Your Mom, or what is it?
Collin Your Mom.
So it's Collin Your Mom, and yours is You Are, right?
Yes.
Collin Your Mom
on
Instagram, and scroll through. He's got an entire discography there.
Yeah.
Going back for years. The Dub Smashes are amazing. That's so good. That's good. So what do you see happening next for you? Like, you're in a very interesting transitional space right now because you're at a place where you're monetizing a little bit. Maybe not quite enough to make a full-time living at it, but maybe eventually this would be cool, right?
Yeah, I would love to be at the point where I'm just making money for myself. On YouTube, dude, I'm over halfway. I'm over halfway to monetization there, and I don't really know what that looks like. But by the point of monetization, hopefully I've almost doubled my audience on there. So I'm hoping within the next 4 to 6 months I can start making money on YouTube. And I have a job right now that as long as COVID is around, I'll be working there.
Right.
And it's the best hourly that I've made.
Yeah. And it gives you time to still make videos, right? You can do both.
Yeah.
You're bivocational, let's say. Or trivocational, right? Yeah.
Dude, right.
Yeah. So let's just plug this real quick. If you follow Collin on TikTok or Instagram, please go to the YouTube channel, find Collin Everett there, and hit like and hit follow on the videos. We'd love to, and ring the bell. Yeah. Yeah, ring the bell. As everyone says, right?
Right.
Because monetization on YouTube would change the game.
Oh
It'd
yeah.
be a game changer, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's what you want to be ultimately.
That right now I'm part-time.
Yeah. Right.
This would be full-time.
Right. And what I love is that we can have a lot of concerns about Google privacy and about Google's power and things like elections, but the upside of Google is they've actually created a platform where content creators can have a full-time job. I mean, it's unbelievable how many people make their living doing YouTube. And I'm talking about doing these stupid things on YouTube, like getting their kids to dress up as Spider-Man and Captain America and having fights in the backyard, right? And you're like 6 million views a day, like for that.
Yeah.
Like the whole Saturday morning cartoon thing has changed.
Right.
Nobody watches like Bugs Bunny or the Roadrunner. People get up in the morning and look on YouTube now, kids, and they're watching families make videos in their backyards being super silly, and you're looking at the number of views, I'm going, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think in a way that's really cool. Right? It's a platform.
Right.
To make income on.
Yeah.
That's cool. So Collin, this whole time I've been asking you questions, but what's on your heart? What's on your mind these days, man?
This is one of the best places I've been personally, financially, spiritually, and in a while. And it just so happens to be that it's not creatively right now.
Oh. Interesting.
That was October for me. I was booming. But right now, anytime that I'm in a period of work, and I know that it's a temporary period of work, so that's why I'm okay with it.
Right.
Because I don't like getting jobs. I don't like jobs. I don't like getting jobs that it's just going to go...
It's not who you are, man.
No.
Getting up and doing the 8 to 3, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever that is. That's the anti-Collin.
I can totally do a 6:45, 7 o'clock film shoot.
Absolutely.
And have the best attitude about it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, I want to get to the point where I'm doing this, but I don't like jobs. And I don't remember exactly where I was going with that, but...
Well, I noticed about 5-10 minutes ago you got really pensive all of a sudden, very thoughtful.
Sure.
You kind of dipped into a thoughtful place.
Yeah.
And I wondered what had shifted in our conversation that made you go there. We were free-flowing, all of a sudden I just saw you settle into some thoughts.
Yeah. So... whenever I'm in, like, a creative state for a month like that, making a movie, after I execute and post that, because that was exhausting. Making that horror film.
So let's stay with that for a second.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. I think this is really important.
Yeah.
Because one, so harmonica, people might think, hey, it's 4.5 minutes. You must have cranked that out like in 5 minutes.
Right.
And put it together and you were done with it. The truth was this was a work of the heart. And it wasn't done overnight, and it was a process.
Yeah.
And even 4.5 minutes of filming by yourself here at the house.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stage per se. You weren't dealing with actors beside you. You had to deal with yourself. Like, Collin,
right.
take two, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a deal. It wasn't. I mean, it's something, right? It's not nothing. It's not easy necessarily.
Yeah.
It might be fun. It might be creative, but it's an expenditure.
Right.
Expenditure of the heart.
Hours.
Yeah, hours.
Reshoots.
Right.
Experimenting. Spending days on things that don't work.
Right.
Either they don't work in production at all, or they don't work in the edit, and I can't... I mean, it took hours and hours.
Yeah.
So, that's where I was going, was I don't think that I'm going to be as creative. Right now I'm having those seeds, those little, like, not experiments, but I'm having those thoughts of inspiration that I'm just waiting for the confirmation on what I should film, like The Exorcist was for me with the horror film. Right now it's a drama. I really want to tackle kind of a scary drama.
Like something that's tense.
Something that's tense. It's not a horror film, but it's a drama, and it stems from ideas that I've had in the past, and may have even gotten down in screenplay form. But I'm excited for execution of those new ideas. So, yeah.
I love that, Colin. I really want you to too, man. But I think there's something about, you said your creative space, and if I heard you right, someplace mid-October, you watched The Exorcist, and it was a culmination of 3 or 4 years of every Halloween exploring the genre, watching movies, and finally something hit. The harmonica, it came to you.
Yeah.
So from mid-October to maybe 5-6 weeks, you worked on filming the harmonica.
Yeah.
You actually no, I'm thinking of Thanksgiving. I'm really off. When did you start filming the harmonica? Was it about a 2-week process total?
Yes.
So 2 weeks, but intense.
19th to the 31st. Yes.
The 31st. Okay. So you're talking about 11, 12 days in there, but it wasn't all consuming in a sense. Like it took a lot out of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You edited it. You finally got it out, and then something in you, as I said, you lost a little juice. Right.
Definitely.
And you want that juice back.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to get the juice back.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things you might do when you get the juice back, you're thinking about, is filming a drama. Filming something that's not a horror film, but an intense drama.
Yeah.
Maybe something like Nightcrawler-esque.
Yes.
It's a nice, intense drama. Thank you for that recommendation, by the way.
Exactly. But I think still the same theme as far as dealing with something you shouldn't be dealing with.
Now, I asked you a question a while back, just kind of wondering, when do you think you'll be ready to do a full feature film? Like an hour and a half, 2-hour film. Would you ever like to do that and just put on a full-on production that gets on, YouTube and Netflix, and Prime Video, all the sites? So you still think about that, or is that just too far off?
Definitely. I think that I would put. I love that I'm making money right now.
Right.
And I love that it's a job that I can show up and enjoy the job. It's a job that I'm chasing as opposed to a job that's chasing me.
Right.
Because that's all I've had up to now.
Right.
So I'm working, and that will be my money.
Right.
TikTok and YouTube will be that money.
Right. Gotcha.
So I'm going to make as soon as I have funding. That's like it.
Gotcha. Working on some funding. As soon as I have funding,
because I'm not going to utilize people and not pay them.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. You want to be a part of the process. You want to do it right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My eyes are tearing up from this smokeless grill.
Yeah.
Smokeless pit. Yeah. That's good. That's awesome. And what about the Salem show? So you guys launched, I think, 4 episodes, was it, of the Salem show, or did I?
No, we're only working on the 2nd episode of the Salem show right now. 2nd
season or 2nd episode?
Second.
You have to tell me how to think about this, because you had really funny stuff. You had like a comedy thing, almost like a late night show.
Right.
But then you had a couple of little skits in there, like you had Sippy Cup. Right.
Yeah.
So you had like different segments. So do you mean?
So
was that all one episode?
The talk show is the Salem show.
Right.
We just call it the Salem show.
Okay, that's the Salem show.
That's just an episode of the Salem show, and the 3rd episode of Pipe Reel.
Oh, Pipe Reel. Okay.
Yeah.
So Pipe Reel Studios
Season 1.
Is Season 1. Salem show episode 2.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Coming up. Yeah.
Honestly, I think I would love to see that develop and just get on the.
Yeah.
I don't know what it takes to put out like a nightly 5-minute show. That's a lot of work, right?
Right.
It would be awesome to have like just a regular, even every week, something that's just right from downtown Salem.
Know.
Just put it out on CCTV, on YouTube, create space for it.
It belongs here.
It does.
Yeah.
What's it like working with your 2 friends up there?
Dude, it's been great. We had some tug of war in the beginning, but I think we've come to a really good understanding of how we're working and what we want. Even if
you guys seem to really enjoy making movies together, making
Yeah.
Not movies, but making shows and fun skits together. Like, you guys really seem to have a lot of fun.
Right. Making jokes together on screen. Figuring out how can we make this joke.
Right.
Right? And sometimes it's very obscure. Sometimes it's very dry.
Right.
Other times it's flat out fall on concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Panini Brothers one. How did you do that?
Dude.
You fell literally. Did that hurt?
Yes.
I was gonna say, that was a
Yes.
real fall, right?
For weeks.
That was a real fall.
I think I have a hernia.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah. I can't believe that fall you took.
Yeah.
Was that all the sound of the falling, or did you add sound?
No, that was kerflump. That was me.
So if you haven't seen Collin's video on one of the Canini Brothers, you call them? The Canane
Yeah.
Brothers liked him once, and then they stopped following him, and they liked him again. He has a really great sketch on that one
Yeah.
on TikTok, on YouTube.
Yeah.
By the way, in the TikTok one, did you take away the silhouette of the Canane Brothers? Because I feel like on YouTube I saw one like there's a silhouette that you're jumping into, and then it disappears or comes. Right?
Yeah.
Now on TikTok, is that not there, or is it there and I missed it?
That's the whole video, the whole yeah, that's on TikTok.
Is it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was such a great.
And for those of you who don't know, the Canadian Brothers are working with Kevin James.
Yeah, Kevin James,
now.
right, yeah.
They do videos for him.
Yeah.
And, you know, Kevin James gets the praise. But
Right.
I praise the Canadian Brothers.
The Canadian Brothers, right?
Yeah.
They're writing his stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he's killing it.
Yeah, dude.
And that's how it has to be sometimes. That's good.
Right.
So you've got the other thing we want to prop today is if you haven't subscribed to Pipe Reel Studios, right? Pipe Reel
Yes.
Studios. Calling Your Mom on YouTube. Find them on TikTok, Instagram. I mean, Salem Roundtable, of course.
Salem Roundtable.
A lot of projects going on.
Which, you know, this is Salem Roundtable.
Salem Roundtable, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
That's good.
I want to get back in studio. Either that or reconfigure Salem Roundtable to be something that goes past friends, that hits
Right.
notes with strangers.
We need to do more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. COVID threw a wrench into everything.
Yeah.
As far as timing wise and our ability to get to the studio and
Yeah.
figuring out the slots we have to invite people. I mean, we need to get where we get like more local leaders, because right now we're doing a lot of friendship stuff, a lot of people we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's it been? 8 months without the studio?
I know. Yeah. That was
and,
good.
And predicted another 6 to 8.
Another 6 to 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what we talked about is doing stuff like this on Saturday morning.
Right.
So you're trying to get local leaders in and just do Zoom calls or something like that, and just get more stuff flowing.
Absolutely.
So I think that's good. And any last thoughts today as we close out this interview? How about this? Anything that you want your followers on TikTok to know?
I'm just excited for 2021, creative-wise. I'm excited to figure out how to create content and work and kind of provide a you know, I'm hoping to have at 10 grand within the next to my name within the next couple of months, and that is
That's seed money, right?
Oh, totally. And not really a spot I've ever been before.
Right.
And to be there at 25 is really nice. I'm excited. That first day that you and I fasted together, which was like 2 Fridays ago.
Yep.
Every day that I've worked since, I've done that.
Oh,
I've fasted.
like all day long.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
From 11 at night to 4 p.m. Usually I get home.
4 p.m. go up to good time.
Right.
Then you have dinner.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm averaging 10 to 14,000 steps a day at work. So I'm excited. I'm not going to be like every day on TikTok. I think that quality over quantity is what it needs to be.
Better. And you want it to be real.
Yes.
You don't want to just. People can feel it if it's pushed, if it's forced, right?
Yeah.
You want it to be pure Collin.
Oh yeah.
Who you are, the funny, the silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the time, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome to be in the backyard.
Yeah.
Again, Collin Everett on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yeah, man.
Anywhere else? Facebook.
Not really.
Facebook,
Facebook.
Pipe Reel on Facebook.
And Pipe Reel Studios.
Yeah,
Salem Roundtable.
Roundtable.
Salem Show. All the above.
yeah,
Thanks, bro.
of course.